evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities. Presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Dr. Ashley Little, corporate executive by day, a serial entrepreneur by night, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, and founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLC. Tonight, we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Dr. Kelly Worth Hall. A little bit about her. Dr. Kelly Worth Hall does it all, a Jill of all trades. Early in life, she was able to thrive in a variety of areas, including academics, athletics, and the arts. She was always a natural dancer and even took tap and ballet classes as a child, but hip-hop was her passion. Growing up in a rural Soul City, North Carolina, there were no hip-hop dance classes, so she and a group of friends came up with their own choreography, imitating popular artists of the time, such as TLC. Being a lover of music, she joined band and took up the saxophone as early as 6th grade. This led to her growing into a leader and eventually becoming a drum major for a high school band. Being Aggie born, she was destined to be a member of the Blue and Gold Marching Machine at North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, like her father and uncle. She was determined to lead the band as a drum major, and she achieved her goal, unknowingly becoming the first female drum major in the band's history in 1998. Due to the band's popularity, they became the official band of the Carolina Panthers, allowing Kelly to perform for crowds of over 70,000 people. She also joined the Theta Zeta chapter of Phi Beta Sigma National Honorary Band Sorority Incorporated and choreographed musical transitions for the step team in a number of step shows. As a senior, she was initiated into the Alpha Mu chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. She is a Diamond Life member and current member of the Charlotte Alumni chapter. However, she knew from the age of 2 her calling in life was to be a doctor. While she enjoyed dancing and performing in college, it was always only something to keep her busy while she was ultimately preparing to give her life to medicine. Her performance was halted only to be revived yearly at A&T's homecoming, when alumni band members joined the ranks with the university band to relive undergraduate days. In 2018, she took her first hip-hop dance class in North Carolina Dance District, and instantly her passion for dance was renewed. After performing in Project Full Out, the studio's seasonal performance concert, she was finally able to live the life of a dancer, even if it was only locally. Once Anna, the studio's founder, decided she wanted to pursue other projects, Kelly saw her purpose in life was shifting to serve people in a different way through the art of dance. Though she spent most of her adult life as an emergency physician, she knew God was calling her to lead the studio. With Anna's mentoring and guidance, Kelly has taken a leap of faith that she can not only physically help people through medicine, but now she can spiritually and emotionally help people by encouraging them to grow as dancers and in life in general. Give it all glory to God. She knows how to bring out the best in people, and she strives to continue the work Anna has started so people can live out whatever dreams they desire. Dr. Hall is also a best-selling author, being one of the featured writers in the first edition of the HBCU Experience Anthology, the North Carolina A&T State University edition. She is award-winning best-selling author, featured as the expert author in the HBCU Experience, the HBCU Band Alumni Edition. The book won the Black Authors Matters TV Award. She is confident she will receive her 3-time bestseller title with her memoir, I Am the Beat, God Sets the Pace. She intends to write future books, sharing different passions and life experiences. She gets enjoyment from mentoring young adults, more specifically young Black women, that desire to become physicians. Although she strives off feeding into younger people, no matter what direction in life they aim to take, hence her venturing into the field of memoir writing. Dr. Worth Hall is a current resident of Charlotte, North Carolina, and is a doctor, dancer, studio owner, mentor, author, and disciple of Jesus. She is married to her husband, Eric Hall, and mother to 3 dogs, also called her fur babies. Welcome to the table, the amazing Dr. Kelly Worth Hall.
Jeez, man, that's a lot of stuff.
Amazing.
That's a lot of people.
I just love it. So tell us more
I'm glad
about.
to be here.
I know our audience have heard your amazing bio. So is there anything else you wanted to add, Dr. Hall, about your journey? Because you want to tell us any more that you want to add to that?
Did I say that I went to the Brody School of Medicine at East Carolina for medical school?
No, you
did
did
my
not.
residency there.
No, you did not.
So that's about the only thing that I left out, I think.
Only thing, yes. So overall, you have had an amazing journey. Medical doctor, passionate about dance, and very involved in writing now as well. So tell us more about your passion for dance and your passion for helping young women as well.
The passion for dance, it actually was reignited. I always loved to dance and danced from a young age, but, it was always knowing that I was going to give it up or not pursue it seriously or professionally, and mainly because people knew that I wanted to be a doctor. So I guess the dancer in me was never really cultivated. So I often wonder if I had said I wanted to be a professional dancer, if people would have made that happen for me. But either way, I'm back at it now, and it's amazing. The dance studio that I own, we train from beginner to professional, and so a lot of my choreographers are former NBA dancers. The founder is a former NBA dancer, and one choreographer, he was on the all-male hip-hop squad for the Hornets, the first all-male hip-hop squad. And so I'm surrounded by people that have toured with, like, Lady Gaga and Pitbull and have been in movies. And it's just amazing to see my creative side get to come out alongside these professional dancers. I guess I can call myself a little bit of a professional dancer because I actually get paid for gigs, but they are really professional dancers. So that's just amazing that I'm getting to live out this lifestyle as a 43-year-old. So that's that part. And then my passion for mentoring, that came out of nowhere, essentially. I think being a sorority girl, bringing in other younger sorority girls, I think you just kind of start developing those bonds, and you just want to see people do better. And that's kind of where the mentoring thing came in, especially because once the memoirs actually, the idea came from the fact that I turned a young lady's life completely around. She had actually flunked the 9th grade, and she caught up and graduated on time. But when I met her, she was working as a scribe, and those are typically college students that want to go into the medical field that do our charts. And I asked her what she wanted to do with her life, and she said, I'm thinking about going to PA school. And I said, well, why not think about going to medical school, because you're going to do the exact same thing as doctor, or as a PA you would do the exact same thing as doctors to get paid half as much. And from that moment on, like, she actually listened and had like a 2.4 GPA at Central Piedmont Community College, ended up transferring to A&T, graduated with honors, got full ride to Chapel Hill and East Carolina. Went to Chapel Hill, she's finished, and she is starting her OBGYN residency at Johns Hopkins. So just for me saying, what do you plan to do with your life? And she's the reason that I mentor people now, because I saw that my words were powerful and changed somebody's life. So I like that feeling of changing people's lives.
I love it. I love it. And so let's talk about, for people that are looking to grow in the, professional dance industry, and see, not only are you in dance and, dance as well, but you also are a studio owner. So what is some advice you give to those that are looking to, take it to the next level and become a studio owner?
I will say this was a complete act of God. I never intended to take over the studio. The whole idea came because Anna, my business partner and the founder of the studio, she actually moved out to LA for a bit. And so the studio had shut down for a few months, and God put it in my spirit well, maybe you should fill the void that's going to be left and open up a studio. And never in my wildest dreams would I imagine doing that. And I'm a full-time doctor, so I was very hesitant. But I said, okay, God is pushing me in a direction, so I'm just going to reach out to her and see what she says. And surprisingly, she was like, oh yeah, let's meet up like Thursday. And so I was like, crap, I'm actually going to have to do this. But even going through a pandemic and not being able to be open for 5-6 months, the whole thing is worth it, because to see how dance transforms people. I mean, dance transformed me. Being a doctor, you kind of start to tune out, I guess, the creative side, and you feel like you have to be more professional. And so I kind of lost a little bit of my performance personality and only revive it for Jiho. But I leave Jiho sort of like and have a post-Jiho crash, because it's like, well, I'm going back to my regular day job where people really don't appreciate me like they do. The applause at Jiho is like crazy. And so
yeah.
I say all that to say that I had not intended to do this, and it was only God's prodding that did it. And just the fact that dance, people come into our studio and may have had a crappy day, and by the time they leave, they feel like they can conquer the world, because that's the kind of thing that we do at our studio. It's not just about the steps. It's about making you a whole person, or like, what did you come here to achieve? And I will say that owning a studio is not an easy thing, especially because we just had a pandemic. It's easier, I would say, if you're going into a competition studio, because those kids, they're typically kids, the parents, they have to sign like a year contract, and so they're obligated to come, and they have to pay so much up front. Our dance studio is more of a drop-in studio, and we have memberships, but we don't, mandate it or dictate it. So if you are trying to open an adult studio, it's a whole different can of worms from a competition studio. The adult studio world is very difficult, because kids are going to come. But adults, they have day lives and day jobs. And so it requires a lot of social media and marketing to keep people engaged. And luckily I have a whole team that can do that for me. So you can do it. I will say that. If you put your mind to anything, you can do it. But just know it is not something that is easy.
Well, let's talk. Okay, I thank you for sharing that with our amazing listeners, and for the people who are aspiring to, grow in the dance industry and are aspiring to own their own dancing studios. Now let's talk about your writing journey, okay? Because I know I saw something in your bio that says, hint about more writing. So let's talk about it, and then we're going to talk about the new book that is getting to release. So let's just go ahead and talk about that journey.
I started out writing, well, I was getting kind of burned out on medicine, and I said I need to figure out a way out of it. And as always, the prompting came from God, well, write a book. And initially I was writing a horrible book because I was actually, it was horrible. And not meaning that it was horrible, meaning the writing was horrible, but it was that I was talking about negative things. So I basically started talking about things or the things that people do that aggravate me. So it was going to be basically talking junk about people in society and why it's aggravating. And I had actually written about 7 chapters worth, but because I wanted it to be like, something credible, I actually went to a writing conference in Raleigh in, when was this, probably 2016. and submitted some writing to what they call a critique mart. And so an editor and an author actually read what I wrote, and they both said essentially the same thing. The editor is the one I spoke with the author first, and she read it and said, I like your voice, you're very humorous, but what makes your points valid? Basically, it's just your opinion, and if you want people to read this, anybody can write basically complaining about something. So what is it that's going to make people pick up your book and read it? And she said, you probably actually would do better writing a memoir unless you're going to try to put in statistics and that sort of thing. And I don't like research, never did, even though I'm a doctor. So I was not trying to do anything with statistics. And basically I was like, okay, cool, I'll write a memoir. And so the second, the editor, she said essentially the same thing. And then she said, but why would people read your book? And I said, oh, okay, well, I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it into a memoir, or write about my life. And she was like, you know what? That's actually a good idea. So I actually took a memoir writing class that next January, because this was like November, and actually learned the art of memoir writing before I started revamping some of what I wrote, because I did put a couple of the topics I spoke about in my negative book, but then I flipped them and turned them into something positive in my memoir. So a couple of the pieces are actually in the memoir, but I make it something positive. But that's where the idea came from, and I actually took classes and, actually I had people coach me on writing the memoir, so it just wouldn't be me writing thoughts. I wanted it to be literary and for people to appreciate it.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about the book. Give us a little, snippet. Don't tell us too much. And why? And what do you want readers to get from your new book? Congratulations.
Thank you. So I think the take-home message is there's not a cookie-cutter way, or you don't have to follow the cookie-cutter way to your goals. There are multiple paths to the same end goal, and the important thing for people to know is that you have to follow the path that's going to work best for you. Because if I had listened to people, I would have never gone to A&T, because it was my guidance counselor told me, well, if you want to be a doctor, you need to go to Chapel Hill. Well, why? I was stubborn even in high school and said, well, my parents went to A&T. I want to be in the band at A&T. I'm going to A&T, and I'm going to go to medical school. Big deal, right? So that's one thing. She was trying to direct me what she thought was the most appropriate path, or the best way to be a doctor, but I knew my path. And then another thing is, when I got to A&T, my advisor told me that I was going to have to quit the band. He doesn't even know me. Day one, he's telling me, you're going to have to quit the band. And I said, well, if my grades slip, then I'll quit the band, but I'm not going to go into it thinking that I can't do it. So, and actually when I interviewed for medical school at East Carolina, 2 out of the 3 interviews I had we talked about me being the first female drum major, and I honestly think that's why I got into medical school, because they saw that I was determined and could do things that are not the norm. So that's the whole point of the book, is that you can do whatever you put your mind to, but you have to take your own path and don't let naysayers or other people dictate how you get there.
I love that. And that's so, so important, right? Especially when you are, following your dreams and really stepping out to really do something really, really big. So I know that your book is going to change lives. So, how did it feel when you were writing it? Did you go through did you have any fear? Did you have any self-doubt, when you were finally getting ready to finish it?
All of that. All of that. It took a while. It took about 4 years for me to write the book, because, like I said, I didn't want to just write something and be like, boom, I put out a book. I wanted it to tell a story. I wanted people to say this was well written. So, and even reading it back, because, when you're doing revisions and editing, you read it so many times. And I just felt like I should I leave this chapter in here because it's revealing a lot. It's like I talk about some of my flaws and some of the low points in medical school and residency, and things that my closest friends probably never, I don't even think I really spoke about it, because some of it was embarrassing, but I knew that it was a story that someone else needed to hear, because people have doubts. And if you only tell the good side of things, they think that your life is perfect when it wasn't. And I think that's the main thing, is that people, especially with social media, it looks like people's lives are amazing and they never struggle. But people need to see the struggle and know that you're going to get out of it and you can succeed.
I love that. I love that. And thanks for sharing that with the audience. And make sure that you all go purchase the book. Where can they purchase the book, Dr. Worth? Dr. Hall?
So it is on Amazon. I will be putting it on my website, and I will, sell copies and actually autograph them as soon as I get them. I'm still waiting on mine from Amazon as well. But yeah, they're on Amazon, and they'll be on my website, which is www.drkellywhall. That is DrKellywhall.com.
And so, as I stated earlier, I was hinting at something. You said you might be doing some more things with teaching, or is it teaching more, writing, or are you going to be, where do you see your writing journey now that you get ready to release your book? What's next for the writing journey?
I'm going to write another memoir, because my first memoir is basically from birth to me finishing residency. So that's kind of my path into medicine. But I have this whole different life now that I'm sort of transitioning out of medicine, getting more into entertainment. And so I actually gave like a preview chapter of my next memoir, which is going to be about me transitioning from doctor to dancer. So I want to write, another memoir. I want to write a devotional so that people can be encouraged and, basically find different scriptures or, something that inspires them to keep going when they feel like, why should I keep going? But I want to have a whole series of books. I don't want it to just be, a one and done or a two and done. Find some more anthologies to be in. What you got next, Dr. Little?
I love it. I love it.
We're going to keep this thing going.
I love it, and that's how it's supposed to be, right? That's how it's supposed to be. And so tell our listeners, how did you create your seat at the table? Because you created seats, Dr. Hall, for multiple people, a lot of people, including yourself. So how did you create your seat at the table?
There's always a prompting from God. It's never anything that I come up with. Like I said, so I wanted to be a doctor since the age of 2. Like, what does a 2-year-old know about being a doctor? That's a God thing. And the dance studio came out of nowhere. I met my business partner. She actually came to a Delta Sigma Theta Community Day, and I was on the Delta Gems Committee, once again mentoring, and she taught our teams a class, and I enjoyed the class so much, I said, well, I'm actually going to go to the studio. And that was a whole act of God, because even though I seem so brave and do all these amazing things, like, there's a whole other introvert that will not step out of her comfort zone. So the fact, and that was actually probably the third time I'd actually seen Dance District, but never really paid attention until she was dropped in my lap, essentially. But I would never step foot in a dance studio because I had never done it before. I was 39 years old when this happened, and the only reason I did it is because I had so much fun. I figured I needed to start moving because I was about to turn 40, and I don't exercise, never did. I always looked like I did, but I didn't. So that was a whole act of God, and then she ends up moving to L.A. for a couple of months, and then it was like, hey, why don't you open up a studio? That came from God. So all these things, all these amazing things that I do, it comes because God told me to, and I basically have just been obedient. Even when I didn't know it was God, I was still doing it because I said I felt like I needed to do something. And once I set my mind to something and decide I'm going to do it, then it's a done deal because I'm going to stop at nothing to make sure it happens.
I love it. And so, what did failure teach you on your journey?
Oh, it sucks. Failure is so horrible feeling. So it teaches me that I don't want to feel that way. And but at the same time, failure makes you more determined because you don't want that to be the last thing people see from you. So and then failure also teaches you that you just have to get back up and keep going because if you stop, then you're just done. So I've learned that failure sucks, but you can make it past it, and you will overcome.
I love it. And what did success teach you? Because you're very, very, very successful. So what did success teach you on your journey?
Success has taught me that it's an amazing feeling, and I want more of it. So with every success comes the urge to find something else to do so I can be successful again. I think I basically just try to find ways to get people to congratulate me. That's essentially what it is. It's like, I love the accolades. I love the applause. I love to hear people say, you are so amazing. So I just find something else to be amazing at.
I love it. I love it because, you are successful and doing amazing things, have broken many records,
Looking for more.
And looking for more. Right. And so we got the book coming out. What else can we expect from Dr. Hall the rest of 2021? We are finishing up quarter 2, getting ready to walk into quarter 3. What can we expect from you?
The way that life has been the past couple of years, I would not be surprised if I'm not on TV before the end of this year. I'm speaking this thing into existence. I keep talking about it because I'm like, listen, this face, this personality, they're made for TV. So someone sign me up. I don't know what format that is, but all I know is that I am going to end up more in the entertainment industry, whether it's I don't feel like because I own the dance studio, but I don't think I'm not going on tour. I'm too old for any of that. There are way better dancers than I am, but I just know that with all of this media, all these media things that I've been doing, I'm doing it for a reason, and I think God is just preparing me for that next step, and it's something in media/TV/entertainment. I don't know what it is, but He knows, and I'm just going to keep taking steps forward until it's revealed.
I love it. And so we wish you so much success on all the great things, Dr. Hall, that you have going on. Congratulations on the book again for everybody that's listening. Make sure you go support and purchase the book and help her become a 3-time best-selling author. And also, you do have a signing that you're going to be doing, right? Tell us about the signing that's coming up, the virtual book launch.
Yes, so I have a book signing that will actually be in person at my studio, NC Dance District in Charlotte, exit 7 off 77 in South End, Clinton Road. But that will be at 6 o'clock on Saturday, June 19th. And there's actually a link up on the payment processor that we use, a booking processor for our dance classes called MindBody. So if you actually go to my Instagram page, I'm Kelly, don't forget the E, that is KELYEDONT, the number 4, GET_THE_E. It's long, but people always forget the E. So, but if you go there, you will find the link to sign up to come to my book signing. And I always have to be extra with everything that I do, so there'll be a little performance, there'll be some food, some drinks, some partying. We gonna turn up.
Yes, I love it. So make sure you all support. Make sure you purchase the book. Make sure you attend the book signing as well and the virtual book launch. Dr. Hall, please tell our audience how they can follow, support you, and book you on all social media platforms.
So my Facebook is actually more for people that I kind of sort of know. So I'm actually not going to give that out, although it's out. You can find me, but I may or may not accept you as a friend on that. But as I said, Kelly, don't forget the E on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I don't really use LinkedIn that much because it's kind of more my professional page. But then there's the dance studio, so that's NC Dance District. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We have amazing videos. If you need dancers for anything, if you want to learn how to dance, if you want to flash mob, we do flash mobs. We do amazing things. Follow NC Dance District. Hit me up, Kelly at thedancedistrict.com, TheDancedistrict.com, and my website, www.drkellywhall.com, DRKELLYEWHALL.com. All those things. Google, I'm out there.
I love it. So make sure you all follow and support Dr. Hall on all social media platforms. Book her for your next event. Book her to speak. And definitely go support the book. So, Dr. Hall, thank you again for coming to the table tonight. And I look forward to bringing you back to the table.
Thank you for inviting me. This is amazing. You are amazing, ma'am. I feel like I need to step my game up sometimes.
Hey, you are big. You know what? So for everybody that's listening, not only is she my amazing guest tonight, but she is my big sis as well. So definitely keep inspiring us all, Dr. Hall, and paving the way and setting the bar high, because you are consistently breaking glass ceilings on a daily basis.
Hey, Alpha Mu made.
Alpha Mu made. Awesome. So I would like to give a special thanks to my intern, Sarah, who is now a Tennessee State University alumni. And I would also like to give a special thanks to my intern, Vontaria, who is a student at Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Dr. Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.